a Friday night and I decided to shoot this video instead of going out and doing anything, and I look a fucking mess. I'm like so greasy. But the reason why I want to film this is because it has to deal with my family and like Christian belief and possibly possessed by a demon, as I was told when I was younger. I'm trying to think how to start this. I've like been wanting to share this story in case like anybody else deals with it, and I've been afraid to tell it because I was trying to still have my relationship with my family, my parents, and I've put in so much work and effort with them, and it's like they just don't care to have a relationship with me, and that's fine. And honestly, I've come to terms with that, and I'll probably make another video about that if you guys want to know more, or it helps you like heal or resonate with what I'm saying. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to share it with you guys because I feel like all the stories I see of people that go through this stuff, it like makes me feel like, okay, it's not just my wild family, and it's okay when other people go through it. So I guess I'll just start here. I don't remember like a whole lot from my childhood, like super young, so less than like 8 years old. Like things are really blurry for me, and I don't know why. And it's like, I don't know, I'm just I guess afraid to ask my parents, or they probably lie, I don't know, whatever. But when I was like, I guess 5, so I had this grandmother, and I always called her mommy too. I loved her to death, and I do remember her, and I would call her mommy. And so then I ended up having to call her mommy too because I had a mom, you know. I'm doing like quotations. Sorry, it's just so uncomfortable to talk about, but I think it's important, and it's my story, and I'm not gonna be discouraged from telling it because it might hurt people's feelings, because again, it's like, it's my story to be able to tell, and I tried. So tried forming a relationship, can't help it. I'm just so awesome. Trauma, that's what I'm dealing with this year, is just healing from trauma, and I'm just rambling, and I'm so sorry. I'm trying to stay focused. So I remember my grandmother, and I'm so close to her and love her to death, and she passed away when I was 5. And after that, things just got like wild and stuff. Like I remember walking in my old house. It was built in like 1911, like super fucking old, okay, old home in the South. And I remember walking in, and like she had passed away. I guess she had a heart attack, and she was in her like favorite recliner, and she was like smiling, which sounds like super creepy, but it's actually like reassuring to me. I don't know. So she had passed away, and after that, I don't know, things just got really weird with like my mom and stuff. And I don't know, it's not that she like resented me, I just don't know how to explain it. Like she couldn't form like a bond with me. I'm sorry, there's so many cars partying right now, and I'm like in here like childhood trauma. Hold on a second. So after my grandma passed away, like I said, it was weird. My mom couldn't really like form the best bond with me at all. And I don't know if it was like postpartum depression. They like didn't really believe in like mental health all like that back then, okay? So I don't know what was her issue. But I was just this little girl that just lost like somebody that I thought was my mom, you know? And the house was so creepy and weird, and I just remember like it was her and I alone at the house. And keep in mind, this house is from like the early 1900s in the South, okay? And we walk in this room, and I like hear somebody say my name like over and over and over again, and I was like, and then I remember asking my mom, she's like, yeah, I hear that too, just ignore it. And I was like, okay. And that's all we like talked about, that was it. And nobody was home, so that was weird. My bed used to shake like all the time, which was weird, and I would see like white flashes like go past. I'm like creeping myself out, sorry. I would see like white flashes go past my bed all the time, okay? So that was weird. And then like my mom didn't tell me this story till probably like 7 years ago, and she said that like one night she got up and was checking on me, and I was fine in my room. And then she went to my brother's room, and she walked in, and it like creeping me out so bad right now, like talking about it. She walks in and sees my brother, and then she sees, who's younger than me, and then she sees me at the foot of the bed, but it's not me, because she had just checked on me, remember? And so she like steps closer, and I like, I was a car, I was like, oh my god. No, can't deal with y'all, sorry, you gotta figure out, life's hard, too stressful, but I can't help you. Cannot help you, okay? And she stepped closer, and it disappeared, okay? So that was really weird. And then I just remember being little, I would have so many nightmares, like all the time, to the point where I would just wake up like paralyzed. Like, it was awful, okay? For years, 4 years. So probably from like 5 to like 9 or 10. And so we moved out of that house like shortly after all that stuff happened and my grandma passed away there. We moved into another house, okay? And it was a brand new build, but things were still weird and happening, okay? And I would get blamed for it. Literally, like, I remember one time for Halloween, I brought home a witch's cauldron with like candy, and my mom freaked out on me because then like weird stuff would happen, and she like blamed it on me that I was like bringing in evil spirits or whatever. So I wasn't allowed to watch Harry Potter. That was another one because it was evil. I could play Pokemon though. I wasn't allowed to do anything with like magic or Yu-Gi-Oh! No scary movies at all, because she said if I watched scary movies, they would come through the screen, right? They would come through the screen into the house, okay? So I wasn't allowed to watch any of that. And I would get blamed whenever there was like weird stuff that would happen. Like, my brother would wake up and see like faces above his head. And I remember one time I was sleeping in my room and I heard like a man and a woman talking, and then like I did something and they're like, oh, she can hear, and I was like eh. But yes, needless to say, I got blamed for all that stuff. So apparently my mom, like, she said the house was haunted, and like the lady that bought it from us was a sub at our school, and she said it was haunted, which was crazy because I had never brought it up. And she's like, thanks for selling that house to me because it's haunted. Not like in a mean way, but like joking, but like being for real, you know? So that happened, and apparently my mom told people that I was possessed by a demon. Like, what? Okay, girl, like, maybe your daughter was like me, just going through like depression and trauma of like her mom dying, you know, her grandma and mom dying, you know? And so that was crazy and just so much fun, you know, just saying your daughter's possessed by a demon, but whatever. So yeah, I would get blamed all the time at the new house for, you know, bringing spirits or whatever. And my dad, so we were Protestant, so Assembly of God, okay? Like the crazy people in the church, like talking in tongues and like throwing shit at people to heal them. I think that's why I was still scared of like death, because it's like, even though you go to heaven or whatever, it was like you could go to hell if you're like a lukewarm Christian and don't pay your tithes to the church and whatever. You would burn in hell. And like, I would again have nightmares, right? I would have nightmares about the rapture coming. Okay, I don't know if you guys know, but like in Revelation, when Jesus comes back for the second coming or whatever, before he saves everybody, like the Christians get sucked up and I guess their clothes just chill on the ground. So I used to be so stressed out. Like, just thinking about this right now as well. I would come home and like nobody would be home, right? And then they would come home and then they would be like outside or something, and then I couldn't find them. I was like, oh my god, like the rapture happened and I didn't get raptured off. So all I pictured were like the plagues happening and all this like earth destruction. Sorry, I'm laughing. It's my only way to deal with it. Okay, dark humor. And so I would like freak out. I remember one time seeing like clothes on the floor because it was like laundry. Okay, just laundry. And I was like, oh my god, I got left behind. Like, great. Oh my god. It's so crazy to think about it now because it was so normal then. Like, it was normal to be fearful and to just do exactly what you're told, right? And so fast forward to like 10, 11, 12, right? So I'm pretty much on my own and all these things are happening in the house. Like, my dad would walk around with fucking vegetable oil. Okay, not even like holy water, like fucking vegetable cooking oil that we just use for like burgers. And he would go around, because it had to be the man of the household that did it, okay? Because women have no power. He would go around and dab the fucking top of the door and like say a prayer to like rid the ghost. Oh my god. I've only met like one other person they've like experienced that too, so it made me feel better. So I was like, let me just tell the story in case anybody else has like dealt with it, because Jesus Christ, literally. So he would do that, and so I was always scared to watch horror movies because I would feel guilty for like bringing in like a demon or whatever. So yeah, that happened. And then I remember when I was about 10 and my dad worked for like the utility lines. His friends would come over and I would get so creeped out, okay? Like my whole life I've been like so freaked out over like creepy old white men, okay? And this is probably why. Nothing happened to me. Like I said, I don't remember a lot from like obviously born till about like 7, 8. Like I remember like bits and pieces, but like not a whole lot. But I do remember when I was 10, his friends came over and I had this like cute like blue dress on. It was like here, and it was like a velvet material, and then it had a little like belt. And I'm 10, keep in mind, okay? And it was a dress. And I just remember the guys were like so weird. Like the one dude picked me up and like spun me around and then like made a comment about my dress, or like it was just weird. Like I can't remember the exact like word he used, but it was like about my dress and my body and stuff, and it was just like it made me feel uncomfortable, okay? And kids have intuition and like no, so like always trust your kids if they like are creeped out by somebody, okay? But again, nobody believes me, right? Nobody believes me. Just silly Elizabeth, you know, doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. So that was weird that happened, right? And yeah, I don't know, it was just, I just remember going to church and like my mom would pinch me if I didn't sing loud enough, and she would sing so loud and was like tone deaf. It was like so embarrassing, and I was just like this little kid like trying to fit in. Like I was so shy, I had no confidence at all, like whatsoever, and I had lost a lot of people in my life, and I was just dealing with a lot of trauma. I didn't have much love or support from my parents. They never, even to this day, never said they're proud of me, okay? I remember like one time too, I was like 10, and my mom upset me, and I was trying to explain it to my dad, and he was like, well, you need to talk to her. And I was like, no, I don't want to talk to her, because I already knew nothing was gonna happen. Because one of her defense things is if she's like in the wrong or feels weird, she like laughs. But like as a kid, like it made me feel like not validated, you know? So she like came in and I was talking to her, and she started laughing, and I was like, see, this is why I can't talk to you, you know? And it was like so hard for me, so hard. And again, it's like, I understand they're my parents. They've been through so much trauma too, but it's like, it's not my fault, you know? And like, I've come to the realization I tried, and we'll talk about that later. Like I tried to form a relationship and like fix everything, but it's like, I can't fix anything until they fix their trauma and figure out what's fucked up with them, okay? So all that happened, and then when I started becoming a teenager, side note, like favorite, this is so random, Flava Flav, Rock of Love, all that stuff, all those TV shows, right? I was like excited like to watch them because it was like something different, and like all I could listen to growing up was just Christian music, okay? Christian music, Christian TV shows, that's it. I couldn't even watch Fairly Odd Parents because she said twerp, okay? So I would have it on my TV, and then when they would come in, I would like switch it like real quick. It was that crazy, okay? Just because I couldn't be, you know, myself. The other thing with the church too is like, it's all about like being submissive. I don't know, it's weird. It's like being about submissive, but like not, I don't know, it makes no sense. I just remember like, no sexuality at all. Like I wasn't even told about sex, like at all, okay? I couldn't even figure out how to put a tampon in. It was that bad. Like my dad talked to me about it, but it was like, it was literally like, oh, a penis goes in the vagina, like that was it. You hear snoring at Roscoe, he's in the corner. So it was so bad. So with the Christian belief, like masturbating bad, like all that stuff's bad, right? You don't do any of it at all. So like it took me until about I was like 27 and with my husband to be able to like enjoy sex for myself and like not feel guilty like I'm gonna burn in hell for it, you know? I would feel so guilty like I was going to hell and that I was being sinful and a lukewarm Christian. So that's like another thing that was really traumatic and just too much. So anyway, so fast forward, it's all about, I'm probably forgetting stuff, but whatever. When I was a teenager, 16, I started drinking heavily. Just an idiot. Like I literally drank by myself one time at the house because I was like so depressed and just like wanted to like, you know, be done. So trigger warning for that, sorry. And I remember walking around my neighborhood, like drinking vodka. Like, girl, what's wrong with you? And like my dad came in and found me like passed out with vomit everywhere in a handle and just like asked me the next day, was like, I won't be mad at you, just tell me. And I was like, no, I was just really sick, blah, blah, blah. Like, come on. And then he never questioned me again. So I was like heavy drinker from like 16 to like 21. No, 22. Really, when I had my 21st birthday is when I stopped really drinking. But I never did drugs, I never did any of that. I just smoked cigarettes when I was like drunk sometimes, but I drank all the time because I was so depressed and I was just like dealing with all the self-hatred, not feeling seen by guys because I was a teenage girl who was very shy, no confidence, and I didn't have my dad or mom like saying they were proud of me, you know? It's like we lived in this nice house in like middle income, what the fuck is it called? Why am I like having a blank? Like average income household. It's like from the outside everything looked perfect, right? But that's like not how it is at all. Yeah, it was just kind of crazy. It's like I never had the support that like I wish I would have had. And then also too, what I was talking about, like kids like always listen to them because they have intuition about stuff, right? My other grandfather on my dad's side, who I do not claim at all, he is a weirdo towards kids, okay? Trigger warning, please. And the only reason why like nothing happened is because my grandma was always there to make sure like the girls and stuff weren't around him by themselves. Oh my God, do you hear that? Shush. And my parents never left me alone with him. But I remember I was like 10, right? And I don't know if you guys remember Limited 2, but it was like, it was before Justice. It was called Limited 2, and I like loved it. And I got my first bikini ever, and it was so cute. It was just like little bikini top, bikini bottoms, and it had this skirt that wrapped around, right? And it was so cute. And he was so fucking weird. Like I remember him asking like, hey, can I see your bikini? But it was like in a weird, creepy way. Like your grandfather should not be asking that. And I was like, ew, no. And thank God I was a bitch, just because ew. And I remember one time I was changing and I remember him trying to peep around the door, which is wild. And you know what is even crazier is I have brought this up to people in my family and they're like, don't talk about my dad that way, or don't do this. And it's like, this is literally why things like this happen and continue to happen, because there's so much guilt and shame around like a family member doing it. But it's like, call it out for what it is. Dude's being a weirdo, period. So that was so much fun. Thank God nothing happened with that though. And I was like I think my grandma was watching after me, both of them and stuff, because they both died when they were young, like 60s. But yeah, so that was crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's other stuff too. Just, you know, I was homeless one time, like legit, because the job fell through. My mom would not even give me $20 for food or gas. Nope. None of that. And I was working a job too. I was working a job and I was waiting for my paycheck to come in, but we were in an RV. So I was homeless, but I had an RV, but the RV had no water, no AC. It is Florida, it is September, it is hot as fuck. And you can't park nowhere because everything is private property, you know? Yeah, that was fun. And then I found out later that week that she had bought my brother a laptop. So love that. But yeah, just a lot of other stuff happened, just like no support, like trying to take my only transportation away from me when I had to go to work. And they were like, well, we need this back, even though they didn't need it back because they had another vehicle. And I was like, well, I have to pay for college you made me go to. Like I said, there's more. I don't know if you guys care. If you want to know more, let me know in the comments if you do want to know more crazy stuff that's happened, because like I said, I'm honestly scared to put this out there and say it, because I'm still a person and still care what other people think, but like at the same time, it's my story and I'm allowed to talk about myself. And somebody that's not ever there for me and literally only hits me up when there's a death or a sickness or a wedding, you know, I'm not really concerned about how you feel, honestly, because you're not concerned about how I feel. And if your daughter's homeless and has a job and works hard and you can't even give her literally $20, that's just some things that just like speaks very highly, you know? Never got an apology for that, nothing, but whatever. But main point is Christianity and stuff, it's so crazy how much power and chokehold it can have around like somebody, and how it took me so long to get out of these like norms of Christianity and to feel like I'm not going to be burning in hell because I'm not, you know, doing missionary position or only have sex to have kids or whatever, and I'm not tithing to the church bullshit. Not possessed by a demon. Okay, I've been in church, so I'm good. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments if you've dealt with that stuff too. Like I said, I'm just talking about this for once because things don't need to be hidden. They need to be brought out. And if it can help other people, then awesome. That's what I'm here for. Thank you guys so much for listening and letting me rant on this Friday night. I just had to get that off my chest finally. I love you guys so much. And until next time, bye.